What are we shooting Simmers here? Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10 and 20 this week. Alright, the films turning 10, we of course got the Expendables 3. God, I remember seeing all four of these 10-year one and there's oh boy, I feel old. Anyway, the Expendables 3, of course, was the follow-up to 2010's Expendables and was really awesome. I mean, to me, this is probably the best out of the franchise. You know, you had Chuck Norris popping up in this, John Claude Van Damme. You know, of course, you had returning cast members like Stallone, Bruce Willis. You had Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Ted Cruz, Liam Hemsworth pops up. I mean, talk about who's. I mean, the first Expendables was, of course, normally pretty much an action film featuring all the A-list heavy action hitters. You know, from Stallone to Arnold, to Bruce Willis. So seeing them like make this thing into your franchise is a training. Of course, we do got the fourth one coming out whenever that comes out, so beyond May. But Expendables two, to be honest, was like more bloody than the first film. So that you had Jean Claude Van Damme as a villain. What he asked for there. I mean, it is such a really fun film. You know, Liam Hemsworth was awesome. Chuck Norris, seeing him pop up was cool. So, to be honest, this is the best out of the franchise. All right. Now, also turning 10, we of course got Paranorman. Now, Paranorman was of course from Leica Entertainment, who's gave us movies like Kubo and the Two Strings, Coraline, Missing Link, Box Trolls. They gave us some really dream films, and this is maybe my favorite movie they've done. It's more like this young kid named Norman bad guy who voiced by Cody Smith McPhee is able to speak with the dead, and he often like prefers their company to that of the living. And he receives words that that strange uncle, voiced by John Goodman, that centuries-old witches curse on their town is very real, as it actually come true here. And you had a really interesting, intriguing voice talents. You had the aforementioned Coach Member Fee. You had John Goodman in this, Anna Kendrick. You also had McLovin, Christmas Plus, Leslie Mann, Casey Affleck, Jeff Garlin, Alex Borstein was even in this. I mean, talk about great voice talent here. The animation was cool. I mean, it definitely reminded me a little bit of Coco, even though Coco wouldn't come out until a few years after. But it just was a terrific film to watch. If you guys have never really seen Paranorman, give it a go. Very creepy for a kids film. Sure. But terrific nonetheless. Anyway, all right, also turning 10. We, of course, got The Odd Life of Tim and the Green, which is about this couple who can't really have who isn't unable to conceive for a kid, and so they bury a box in their backyard containing their wishes for what they hope a child of there might be. But of course, this boy named Timothy, played by C.J. Adams, appears at the doorstep, and they end up adopting him, and he becomes like very magical. I mean, it is a really intriguing film. Starring Jennifer Garner and Joe Edgerton. Other cast members, you had the likes of Rosemary DeWitt, you had Common, Oda Rush was also in this. I believe Diane Reese was also in this movie too, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've seen it, to be honest, but it is a really interesting. I remember really enjoying this back then. The performances by the cast was great. Directed by then real life director Pierre Hedges, who by the way is actually the father of Lucas Hedges. So there's a little tidbit for you there too. But yeah, this is a really terrific movie we're checking out. All right. Also turning 10, we of course got Sparka. Now, Sparka is actually a remake of a film from the 1970s or 80s, I believe. Can't remember when the original came released. Now, this movie does star the likes of Jordan Sparks. You had Tika Summers was also in this. You had Carmel Jago. I mean, this was pretty much trying to capitalize on the success that was Dreamgirls that came out a few years prior, really. But the movie, sadly, would also be the final performance of famed singer Whitney Houston, who sadly passed away a few years prior. And Whitney Houston was really good. I mean, obviously, she's always best known as an iconic singer, but as an actress, she's had range with stuff like The Bodyguard, with Cinderella, which, by the way, they're supposed to be. If you guys don't know, ABC is supposed to have their anniversary special of Cinderella, so keep your eye out for that. Anyway, uh, but yeah, Whitney Houston was terrific, playing the mother of these sisters who are taking Detroit by storm, and their dreams getting even bigger. Where their manager, played by Derek Luke, would do whatever it takes to make them big time, even if it means exploding the sisters and his love for Sparka. You had Mike Epps was also great in this. I mean, it has some really terrific music in it. Directed by Salem Aka, who will later go on to direct episodes of Luke Cage. He did a good job here. I mean, really, not Luke Cage, Black Lightning, my bad. He did a really good job with this film. So if you guys have not really seen Sparka, definitely give that one a go. All right. Now, turning 20, we of course got the surfing classic Blue Crush. Now, of course, this has the likes of Kate Bosworth, Michelle Rodriguez, Matthew Davis. I mean, Blue Crush is a really fun sport film. Of course, it is a surfing movie, but you don't really see much surfing movies around. So seeing them do a new surf film at the time was a dream. Now here, if you guys don't know much about the story, you got Anne-Marie, played by Kate Bosworth, and her boy all living in a beach shack with two roommates, including her rebellious younger sister. She is also up before dawn every morning to conquer the waves and count the days until the Rip Masters surf competition. And so, Anne-Marie finds all that she needs in the Ardeline charge surf scene until this quarterback named Matt Tolman, played by Matthew Davis from Legally Blonde fame, comes along, and Anne-Marie also starts losing her balance and finding it here, and she even falls for the Matt character. I mean, the performance by the three leads are terrific. I mean, they really had great chemistry for one another. It is a really intriguing sport film worth checking out. I mean, I'm not a surfing guy at all, but this movie really is one of the coolest surf movies there is. They did do a home video sequel years ago, which was not so good, but nothing beats the original. Blue Crush is such a terrific one. I mean, Michelle Rodriguez was also great. Really good flick in my bed. All right. Also turning 20. I love Eddie Murphy, whether it's his classic comedies like Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, Dr. Dolittle, Shrek, and he's done some classic great movies. But if I gotta choose the worst movie he's ever put out, this will be it. And that is the classic cowboy. I mean, classic in monetary, but the film The Adventures of Pluto Nash. That's right, folks. Years ago, Eddie Murphy will pretty much do a career pretty much a career killer move film, which was Pluto Nash. I kid you not. This movie actually has a 6 tomatoes. Yeah. You also had some really cool cast members that include the likes of Randy Quaid, Rosario Dawson, Luis Guzman, Jay Moore, Joe Pantoliano. You had some cool cast members. Eddie Murphy, still was at the top of the game at the time. Directed by Ron Underwood, who I believe gave us Undercover Brother, if I'm not mistaken, too. So what could go wrong? Everything. This is one of the worst one of the worst comedies of all time. That's how bad this thing is. If one of these days, maybe I've done my 10 favorite comedies of all time. I don't think I've ever done worst comedies of all time. Pluto Nash will be in that list. I love a good comedy. Like heck, I even find movie 43 funny, but this movie it just felt like a stupid Star Trek ripoff. At times. I mean, they just wanted to make this thing like Galaxy Quest. If you guys don't know much about the story here, the movie, is an action comedy set on the moon in the year 2087, where Eddie Murphy, a character who's this nightclub owner who finds himself in hot water when he refuses to sell his club to a local mob. And the lunar gangsters are also helping the mysterious Rex Crater mastermind his plan to take over the moon here. I mean, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, the movie did got lots of Razzies. Let me pull up how many. It was a major flop. It made only about made about 100 million on a 7.1. Oh no, the budget was 100 million, but it made about 7.1 million. It even scored lots of award bodies, scored lots of Razzies. I believe the movie was nominated for 5 Golden Raspberry Awards in 2003, including Worst Picture, Worst Actor for Eddie Murphy, Worst Director, Screenplay, Screen Couple with Eddie Murphy and a clone of himself, but it actually failed to win any at the time. Which, okay, that's a lot. That this didn't even win anything. I can't remember what actually won that year, but still, it will also later go on be nominated for worst comedy. In the first 25 years, at the 2005 Golden Raspberry Award, but lost out to Gilly. Well, there. So yeah, I actually decided to, for the heck of it, add it as a thumbnail because the movie is so bad. I just it's always fun to give bad movies, some, some love there, but still, this is a terrible film. And this is the movie that really screwed up Eddie Murphy's career. Like he will even like himself that this is one of the worst movies he's ever put out. I mean, I remember he was being interviewed for something. I can't remember what he was being interviewed for. I think probably maybe could have been Tower Heist or something else. And someone was asking, and the interview was asking Eddie Murphy, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self what not to do and all. Eddie Murphy literally came out and just said, "Don't do Pluto Nash." I'm like, dang, that's yeah. Eddie Murphy even knows that this movie is terrible, and yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy has done some bad movies as well. Like Norman's not all that great. He's also done some other not so great stuff like that. One where like, dang, what was that tree movie he did years ago? Where dang, I forgot the name of it. Something words or last words. I think it was called Thousand Words, where he played someone who ends up about to who if he speaks he might actually die and stuff like that. That movie is terrible, but nothing is as worse as Pluto Nash. I mean, yeah, this is such a horrible film. But that's pretty much it there. Let me let you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one will always be Expendables 2. That movie is really fun. And the 20-year one is Pluto Nash. Jokes are there. No. 20-year one is Blue Crush. Blue Crush is awesome. Anyway, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that button for more notifications. This is Super Sign.